So this is Leetcode number 121, that is best time to buy and sell stock. So first of all, this is the first question on DP on stock there. This is a very simple greedy question, even don't use the DP here. So the question is simply what we have to do. There's a prices array is given there. So we are given the stock prices for each of the day and we need to buy it at once and sell once. So that to maximize our profit there. So like now think we have the choices, either we can buy this stock or sell this stock or buy and sell. There is a, so this is simply the buy and sell, so make decisions there. Okay, like actually this question, this is simply the greedy question, but like since there is a choices at each portion, so that's let's do the recursion, and now from there that's DP. So that's why this is included in DP, but like we don't have to use this is simply of like simply loop questions there. Okay, so now this is the question, like this is our prices, so what's the maximum profit we can gain from it. Okay, so like first of all, since we have to find the maximizing our profit, so that's why we want to sell it as a maximum price and buy it as a lesser price there. Okay, so now let's say so what's the optimal part from this. So if we have to buy at day 2, means if we buy at this as at cost 1 and sell it at cost 6, so what means, so it is gives me the maximum profit which is of 5. Okay, so that's our question there. So it means we have to buy at day 2 and selling at day 1, means buy day 2 and like selling at day 5. It is not possible like we have to buy this and selling at previous day, because first of all we have to buy, then we have to sell, like okay, so that's why the 6 minus 1 is 5. There's like what's the thing there. Here it doesn't, no transaction done there, because if we have to buy there, so we have to sell, so selling price is always lesser than our like buying price. So in any of the pair we have to counter the our profit as a negative, so so we don't do any of the operation, so that's why we have to simply return 0 there. Okay, so that's our question there. So like we have to see one thing, like in the brute force we can say one thing, like we simply say like we have to check for all of the pairs whether what's the difference between these. We simply add up this and gives this our answer there. Okay, so this is a brute force, like this is a brute force. I am done this. There's I use the n as a size there, and let's say I initialize our maximum profit as with 0. Or now I have to make our loop is i's loop is goes to 0 to n, the j loop is goes to I plus n to n, and now it check for each of the pair. Let's say our I is goes to here and j is goes to here, like j is goes to here. Now it check with every I and j what are the maximum difference is possible. We simply add up with this and our maximum profit, it gets update, and finally it gives me the final result. But like this is very basic or very like we can say very wrong code there, because the time complexity doesn't gives the limited time complexity, it gives a TLA. So avoid this time complex, avoid this code there. Now come to optimize part. Okay, now let's say I'm talking like let's say I'm starting with the I'm standing at this 4 there. Okay, now what I'm trying to like what I want to here. So if I assume I sell at 4, so I want in my previous days, if I can say if my previous days I want at my minimum price. So for this 4, what is the minimum price? So this is nothing but the 1. Okay, so if I have to sell this 4, so I want that I should buy at 1 there. Okay, so that gives me profit 3. Again, let's say we can also check if I have to sell to this 6, so what are the minimum from this its previous days. We have to simply buy from that days, so that is nothing but the 1. Okay, now simply again we can say if I have to sell at this 3, so I want minimum from this previous days, so that is nothing the 1. Okay, so this loop goes on. Okay, so like we don't have to need this update our minimum update count again and again. So we simply use our minimum price also along with this. So we simply initialize it with our starting price, that is nothing but let's say this is 7 there, and there's our maximum profit is initialized with 0. And like what's it is done here, we simply running our loop 1 times there. And now first of all we can update our minimum price, like when we are standing at any of the day, we simply initialize our minimum price, and whatever the price we have to gain, we have to compare this at our minimum price, and we have to calculate what's the profit from here and simply update our maximum profit. So this is basic question. Like here our minimum is 7, and so we are standing at here. Now our profit is simply the 0. Now we are reaching here, so our like this price is again here, the like we can simply try running this part. So here I get whenever I am standing at 6, so that means if I am trying to selling 6, so I want what is the maximum from my previous days that I should buy there. So that is the 1 there. So in that case, this is nothing but the 6 minus 1. So this is simply of n code. So that is the problem here.